Hello everybody, welcome to another video. It's your boy Vic, and today we're going to try to fix Halloween 5, which is a tall order because this movie definitely has some issues. The month of October is upon us. Welcome everybody to October. Welcome to the channel. If you haven't watched this channel before, if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up, the like button, leave a comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on my thoughts on how to fix Halloween 5, and give me your own thoughts on how to fix Halloween 5. All right, let's talk about Halloween 5. This movie came out in 1989. 1 year after Halloween 4, which of course was the return of Michael Myers after Halloween 3. You know, they had to bring Michael back, of course, because he is the franchise. He is the thing that drives the franchise forward. So Halloween 4 came to theaters. It made pretty decent money, but I think revisions history a little bit because in years since then, in documentaries and online, there's some idea that Halloween 3 was a complete bomb, and then Halloween 4 came out and rejuvenated the franchise, took the franchise back, put it back on track. But in actuality, Halloween 4 really only made about $3 million more than Halloween 3, and Halloween 4 also was nowhere near the success, for example, as, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4 Dream Master, which came out the same year. So Halloween 4 was a mild success. Both these movies were low budget. You don't have to pay Jamie Lee Curtis here in Halloween 4, so it's low budget, made back its money. So, of course, as was the 80s, we're going to rush into a sequel as quickly as possible. We're not going to, fine-tune the script. We're not going to worry about, the story, the acting, nothing. We're just going to jump right into it to get a sequel out in the theaters as soon as possible. Thus, Halloween 5, only 1 year later. Now, listen, some of you who have followed the channel for a while, you may know that, my very first experience with Halloween 5, my thoughts initially, even if you go back to our first podcast about Halloween 5, I really thought it was a bad, mediocre movie with no redeeming value. For me, Halloween 5 and Halloween Resurrection were the two bottom tier entries in the series. Now, as I've dove more into Halloween the last couple years, I have to say, Halloween 5 has moved up the list. Its stock is growing in my mind. I'm beginning to like Halloween 5 more and more. But, that said, this video is about trying to make everybody else feel good about Halloween 5, which is a tall task. The movie definitely has some problems, so how can we fix Halloween 5? I'm going to go through 10 things on my list that I think would make Halloween 5, for a lot of people, maybe one of the best sequels in the franchise. So let's go with number 1. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of this entire opening, this whole flashback to the end of Halloween 4. They're showing, the cops shooting the shit out of Michael, throwing the dynamite and him blowing up and then whee, floating down the river. I don't want to see Michael floating down the river. It's goofy. It looks terrible. We have to get rid of this. I hate this whole opening with the hermit, silly, resting Michael back up to health for a year. The town never comes looking for Michael. They never come and question the hermit. The hermit doesn't know who Michael Myers is. Hasn't heard about the events in nearby Haddonfield where Michael massacred an entire police station. I just don't like this opening. I also don't like the alternative deleted opening with Dr. Death. I don't like that either. So we gotta do something completely different here. And damn it, when all else fails, we gotta go the Jason Lives, the Elm Street 4 route. No, I'm not talking about a dog comes and pisses on Michael's grave and brings it back to life, and not even a bolt of lightning, and Tommy Jarvis's dumbass coming to dig up Michael Myers. But I'm going to have Michael dead and buried in the grave, because in my opinion, he died at the end of Halloween 4, and the whole town, the sheriff, the police department, they would have came and tried to find Michael. So they would have not let him just be there, floating down the river to the hermit's house in 1 full year. And the hermit, what are you doing, man? What was the plan? Arrest him back to health? As soon as he wakes up, he kills the hermit. It's just such a pointless thing. So I'm just going to have the mind control thing, the mind connection between Jamie Lloyd and Michael Myers, somehow just bring Michael out of his grave. He's buried, dead in Haddonfield. He's going to come out the grave, and we're going to have, of course, maybe like Jason Lives, an irresponsible caretaker who's not paying attention. So Michael's able to make his way out. The next day at some point, of course, they'll find out that the grave has been dug up. But that's not something that's going to necessarily call for attention. It's not like every single day they're looking at Michael's grave to see if he's still there. So I'm just going to have him come out the grave. That's the bottom line. So I don't like the opening. I want something different. And I just don't buy that the Haddonfield Police Department didn't follow up on Michael's whereabouts. All right, number 2, let's get to Jamie Lloyd. Jamie Lloyd, who was such a fantastic, sympathetic character in Halloween 4, really filled the void left by, let's say Laurie Strode as the new final girl in the series. But the big misstep in Halloween 5 is Jamie Lloyd not talking. I know she's in a muted mode because of the trauma of the events of Part 4. I'm just going to have Jamie talk. I'm sorry. I want Danielle Harris talking. I think when she talks, you're able to emotionally connect with her character more, care about her character more. I'm not going to have her in a muted stage. I'm going to have Jamie Lloyd talking throughout the movie. Also, Danielle Lloyd being such a good child actress, her ability to speak, I think, would actually enhance the movie. So Jamie Lloyd will not be muted. She will be talking throughout the movie. Her and Billy can be talking about their favorite episode of Sesame Street, discussing whatever sidebars they want, but she will be talking. Okay, number 3. Okay, Tina is the one who gets stalked in the house in the first half of the movie. We know that, of course, how the movie is right now. We have Rachel Crothers unfortunately meeting an early demise in the house, but we don't want Rachel to die here, but we don't want to throw out the entire setup, the entire scene, because the truth is, if you watch it closely, that is a great overall death scene for Rachel just because of the buildup so much. There's so much suspense with Michael in the house, following her in each room, him being in the closet, her coming out the house, police coming, her going back in, Michael still being there. It's a great sequence. I would extend that. I would have the first half of the movie maybe cut back to Tina in the house. Now, Tina would get introduced when she first, meets up with Jamie at the hospital at the beginning, so we know her character. Michael's going to see Tina there and follow her back to the house. So this whole first half opening thing with where Rachel dies, I'm going to have that take place with Tina instead. And Tina, of course, does bite the bullet. Have her same personality, everything. Oh, wait, well, actually, one minor thing with this. We're going to change the character's name to Lindsay Wallace. So this will be Lindsay Wallace to tie to the events of Halloween 4, where we saw that Rachel had a friend named Lindsay. I hate this thing to do in horror movies where the next movie is a year later, but our main character has a whole new friendship group. We're not doing that here, damn it. No, absolutely not. This is Lindsay Wallace, but the same suspense, the same setup, the same way she dies in the house instead of Rachel. Okay, moving on. Speaking of this, we have to get rid of the dopey cops. These bumbling, fumbling cops here in Halloween 5 are an absolute embarrassment to the franchise. They add no value. There's no comedic relief. Those stupid sound effects, I hate them. We're getting rid of these cops. How do they come, investigate the house, and then you come out and you're like, yep, safe to go back in. She goes back in and Michael kills her. Like, what kind of ridiculous, what police academy these cops go to? So these bumbling cops have to go. All right, number 5. We're going to have a bigger role here for Sheriff Meeker. Sheriff Meeker, who at least they brought him back for part 5. If they would have had a new sheriff, I would have lost my mind. But at least Meeker's back, but his role isn't big enough here in Halloween 5. I want Meeker to be almost a little bit rogue. I want Meeker to be, once he finds out that Michael is potentially back, I want him to be kind of rogue and aggressive because remember, Michael killed his daughter. So, I mean, he doesn't have to be as batshit insane as Loomis, but I want, I want Meeker doing like non-prototypical police officer stuff, going kind of off the rails here a little bit, doing things not by the book so much because he's so hell-bent on taking out Michael. Even if, please, I mean, Meeker's big enough for us to get a physical confrontation, a one-on-one fist fight or a physical confrontation with Michael. Please do that. Give Loomis or give Meeker some kind of redemption for what happened to his daughter. And at the end, just if you're gonna do that police station thing, just show Meeker dead. Show his dead body. Give his character the grace to actually have some finality. Not leave us wondering for 30 years what the hell happened to Meeker. Let him die, but better off, let him die with a physical confrontation with Michael, where we really get to see that rage come out. What happened to his daughter? More justice for Meeker, please. All right, let's move on now. Okay, well. Obviously, Tina's taking Rachel's place, so Rachel's going to take Tina's place, and she's going to be one that sacrifices herself in the woods for Jamie Lloyd. This is the perfect hero's death for Rachel, does her justice. We can't complain about what happened to her character if she dies nobly, saving Jamie Lloyd. I agree with the idea that Rachel dying does put the spotlight on Jamie Lloyd more, so you don't need necessarily Loomis, Jamie, and Rachel, but give Rachel the honorable death. I think that a lot of the backlash against Halloween 5 is just what happens to Rachel. They feel it's unjustified. You could have done more with the character. I agree. But just giving her a more honorable death later in the movie with something that makes more sense. I like the idea of her sacrificing herself for Jamie. They did it with Tina, and I like the scene, but it's like there's a problem in the movie where Jamie seems to react more to Tina's death than she does when she finds out that Rachel's dead. And that makes no sense because Rachel's her actual big sister figure, and Tina is someone she met within the last year within the context of the movie. So how close could a Tina and Jamie been? Jamie's probably been in the hospital. Has Tina just been visiting every week, every month? Like they're like old best friends. I don't know what that's about. Okay, anyways. Loomis still batshit crazy. But a lot of people have a problem with Loomis's characterization in Halloween 5. I do not. I don't think that Loomis needs to be the same character in each movie. It makes sense to me that he progressively becomes more batshit insane with each film. After all these events, Michael keeps coming back. I don't know if we can question the mental health of Dr. Loomis. I mean, he's still, to me, he's still playing the game in Halloween 5. He's still trying to bring Loomis down. He's still on the right page to, try to trick Michael. And now, the one character thing I would change with Loomis here, knowing what we know happens in Halloween 6, I would go ahead and just have Loomis die here at the end. The heart attack where he passes out over Michael's body, I would have that be the final moment for Loomis. You know why? Because he's dying doing his life work. His life work is trying to take down Michael. In his mind, he's taking down Michael. That's a graceful end for Dr. Loomis. I think it's the right path to go. So I'm taking out Loomis here at the end. You don't necessarily need him in Halloween 6, to be honest. If you think about it, think back to the events of Halloween 6, you don't necessarily need Loomis there. You got Tommy and Kara, so give Dr. Loomis the graceful death instead of whatever mysterious bullshit we got them end of Halloween 6. Okay. All right. Well, Michael in this one is not going to take his mask off. He's not going to shed a tear. We're not going to do that thing about Michael's conflicted emotionally because I just, it doesn't fit here. I mean, it takes away some of the scary horror part of Michael when you have him shedding a tear. I get the idea. Maybe it's the director or writer's thinking it's building an emotional connection or emotional foundation between Jamie and Michael, where Jamie's like, "You're just like me, Uncle." But it doesn't ring true with Michael being the personification of evil. And there's not enough cult stuff here established so that we get the idea that Michael is being controlled by something against his free will. The rage inside of you, Michael. I don't need any of this rage inside of you, Michael. I mean, does Loomis know about the cult? I don't understand. Like, it's just, I don't need any of that stuff. That old shoot scene at the end, though, is fantastic, that whole chase scene, but I don't need Michael in any way, like, whatever, crying tears of whatever that was as he tries to reconnect with his niece before killing her. Okay. Of course, speaking of that as well, we're going to not have any kind of Man in Black. The Man in Black has to go, has no place in Halloween 5. One of the biggest complaints about Halloween 5 is the Man in Black, and it's true. We don't need his ass. Save that for Halloween 6, Cult of Thorn. But what do we do then? How do we get Michael out of jail at the end? You just don't explain it. You just, same thing. Jamie comes to the jail and Michael's busted out. I mean, think about it. Michael's no ordinary prisoner. As a viewer, if you're watching the movie and Jamie shows up and Michael's busted out, are you surprised? We can skip that bullshit scene of Michael sitting down, with his mask on and the handcuffs. Why did they not take his mask off? I don't understand, but you just don't need that. So you don't need that at all. You don't need a Man in Black. You just have Michael escape. Same ending. Jamie's crying because Michael's gone, but he's just gone. He's cut to different shots of Haddonfield like you did at the end of Halloween 1. Michael can be anywhere, and you can build from that. But the Man in Black kidnapping him, I mean, you're really putting the writers of Halloween 6 in a bind here trying to explain all this silliness. Just get rid of the Men in Black. So, okay. What else we got here? Well, I mean, this one goes without saying. I don't mind the Halloween mask in Halloween 5 as much as I used to. I think it's an improvement over Halloween 4's mask. But man, if you can get a mask similar to Halloween or Halloween 2, if you can get that back here for Halloween 5, you're in business. A better mask here would have gone a long way. That said, these are my big complaints here, but I'm going to say it right now. Halloween 5 as is not horrible. It's got some problems, got some issues for sure. But there's some great stalking scenes. I love the whole thing with Michael during the daytime behind the trees, stalking Tina and her friend, showing up in the background. Michael's patience. He has a creepiness about him. But these are some things you could do to make the movie a little bit better, I think, for the Halloween audience, the Halloween fans. So yeah, that's all I got for today. In the comments, let me know what you think about these changes and what would you do with Halloween 5. Do you have your own suggestions, ideas to fix Halloween 5 as well? And yeah, we're going to be doing this for a couple different movies in the franchise. I think maybe Halloween 6, Halloween Resurrection. What are the ones that you'd want to see me do this kind of video for? Because I'm open to trying it with all the movies. But I mean, obviously, the original Halloween, I'm going to fix that shit. That shit's already perfection. Halloween 2, already fantastic. So, but anyways, until next time, you guys take care.